How do I learn a language as a language teacher? Hi everyone, welcome back to this channel where we talk about everything language learning. I'm Fanny, I'm a French and English teacher online. I speak English, je parle français, c'est ma langue maternelle. Aprendí español en el colegio, pero hace años que no practico. Ho imparato l'italiano al liceo e all'università. Und jetzt lerne ich Deutsch. In this video, I'm going to share with you my current weekly routine to learn German and share a lot of tips that you could also implement in your own language learning routine. One disclaimer though, this is not how I started learning German, and I'm not saying this is exactly what you have to do, I'm just sharing what I am currently doing. I have an intermediate level in German. I started learning German for fun in 2021, I believe. I studied a little bit online, I used videos, I did a little bit of grammar exercises, never had a tutor until last year. But I am actively learning and practicing since I moved in Germany in the summer 2023. This is where I started having a tutor and speaking more. This video is starting on a Saturday because exceptionally I had a meeting with my tutor. So that's a little bit unsatisfying, but then I skipped to Monday and show you my normal week. I skipped Friday and Saturday just because I didn't do anything specific. And on Sunday I filmed a little bit of a conversation I had with my boyfriend while I was baking, just to show what our usual conversations look like in German. It's still very limited. I don't have all the vocabulary and all the knowledge to be able to talk about the things that we talk about in English. We usually speak English on a daily basis. Oh, maybe I should mention that my boyfriend is actually German. So yes, I hope you enjoy it. I would be very curious to know what you are doing if you're studying German or another language, what is your routine, what does it look like? And also which tip you didn't know about and think would be the most useful. I will see you again at the end of this video. So today is Saturday and I usually don't have anything planned on the Saturday just because we sometimes go out and about or have other things to do, but this morning I scheduled a German tutoring session with my tutor on Preply. So she's waiting for me now. I'm gonna join her. Hallo. Hallo. Sorry für die Verspätung. Tut mir leid für die Verspätung. Wie geht's dir? Gut. Mein Freund hat die Grippe. Ja. Und also ich hoffe, ich bekomme die Grippe nicht. Oder ich bekomme sie nicht. Er hat die ganze Wohnung kontaminiert, ja.
Ja. Verseucht.
Verseucht, okay. Und ich muss mich erinnern, dass ich habe ein Bananenbrot im Ofen. Es soll fertig sein in 5 oder 10 Minuten.
Oh.
So today is Monday and like every Monday I have a call, like a lesson, a chat with my tutor, and it was really nice. So I wanted to talk about what are my criteria to select my tutor. Why did I choose her? This is my tutor. He doesn't speak much, he lets me speak a lot, so that's good. And the first one, I wanted to find somebody that had no accent, so like not somebody from here, from Bavaria, for the reason that I want to be able to understand like High German before I move on to the language, the accent and dialect that is spoken here. I just wanted to be exposed to Hamburg, like no accent, High German kind of language. So that was the first one. The second one is I wanted to have a conversation. So I didn't need a teacher, like somebody very qualified that could explain the grammar. I want to speak. I reached a certain level before getting a properly tutor. So I already was able to say a few things. I just wanted to improve the conversation and the listening. So it was not necessary that it was a teacher. The third criteria was I wanted the tutor to be a girl around my age, so she's a bit younger than me, but It's like easier to find topics like conversation stuff to talk about. And what else? The price. Not to say that it's not good to pay a higher rate, but so basically just don't have a huge budget. I can speak German at home. It's just I wanted to have another person to have a conversation with, somebody with a different accent, and I don't have a huge budget. I really want it to last for the whole year. That's something that goes on, and not just like, okay, I'm gonna do that for 10 weeks to reach a certain goal and then stop. I want to practice weekly for as long as I have the time, and at the moment I do have the time, so why not? So yeah, I think that's it. So we have a chat every week, at least 1 hour, sometimes 2. Today we talked about long vowels and short vowels, so like long e and e. I read a little bit out loud. I read Harry Potter because I like the story. I already know the story really well, and I read out loud to practice articulate. I find it really hard to say one word after the other, like in French. So in French we have a lot of vowels, and so it's just like a matter of you open your mouth and you just a, o, I, u. In German and in English also is the same. There are more consonants than vowels, and so you have to really like work other muscles in your mouth to say the t, k, sh, kn, and this is not something I'm used to doing, I guess, in English, but in German it's another level of consonant. So just to practice just like articulating pronunciation. And so that's what we did today. We usually speak, no grammar or barely. If it's so I always ask her. That's also one thing that I can afford, is like not to pay too much for a teacher that would teach me the grammar, which is what I would recommend if you have no idea on where to start, what to do, how to study, what to study, blah blah blah. I know, I'm a teacher, I know the grammar. I can make myself a plan to study. And so let's say the other day I was like, I really struggle to express the condition. Can we practice I think it's called conjunctive 1, 2, I'm not sure which one. And so we took like a sentence, a structure, and I tried to say as many sentences with that structure. So I come up with okay, I want to work on that. So that she doesn't have to prepare anything. It's not her job. She's not a teacher. She's a student, a university student. So it's my job. So I accept to pay a little bit less for somebody who would not do the research and the preparation, because I come up with the idea. I would recommend, if you really don't know, like as I said, to get somebody that would make everything for you. They would spend a lot more time to tailor something specifically for you, plan. They know exactly what you have to work on to be able to reach some level of proficiency. It's a different budget. So if you don't have the budget, you just have to work a little bit more yourself, I guess. Enough rambling. I've been talking for a long time now. It's time to go back to work. It's just so Monday, little tutoring session. I looked a little bit on Instagram, like what the girls are saying. I follow a couple of, I would say like 5, 6, 7 German influencers. Same thing, girls around my age, probably a bit younger, and they write in German. And so I read their stories, I read everything. I just like listen to the reels, listen to what they say. It's micro-immersion, like teeny tiny things every day, like 1 minute here, 15 seconds there. It just adds up. And for lazy people who don't want to spend a lot of time sitting at their desks studying, it's a good tip. I mean, it worked for me. So it's 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. I've just done a couple hours of tutoring. Et bonjour. Alors. He was sleeping on the bed until now. I was saying I just had a couple of hours of tutoring, and now I just like need a brain break before moving on to working some more. So I was on Instagram and listening to some girls, like German girls, talking on their Insta stories and on reels, and reading some stories where they write in German. So I try to make sure I understand. Usually it's simple, very easy, basic vocabulary. If I don't understand, there's a great feature on Instagram. You can see the translation on the story, Insta story. So just activate the translation and just like have it translated. One thing about German influencers, they They most of the time make their content in German when it's about speaking. They most of the time speak German, but sometimes they just like put a lot of English for no reason. This is something that I believe French influencers don't do. I mean, at least not the ones that I follow. And so that's a bit of a bummer because I don't need to read English, I need to read German. And it's a quick process. I just look up some stories, they write a few words and I just read. And now I have a bit of work to do, but after that, if I have a bit of time, I'm just gonna actively watch a YouTube video and I'm gonna do some shadowing. So I'm just gonna try to pause or not pause and repeat some expressions, some words, some sentences that she's saying if I can. That makes it more proactive, like active learning instead of just being passive and trying to just listen. Try to repeat is a bit more of an active process. So I'm gonna do that. And I wanted to show as well something that I get every day, Monday to Friday. Yeah, five days a week. There you go, it's way better. I get an email from Gymglish, which it's a subscription service where you can receive one lesson per day, 5 days a week. And the German section, so you can have Gymglish, it's English lessons. Wunderblatt is German lessons. There is French, Italian, Spanish, I believe. They send you an email every day with a lesson to do. So you you open the email, and let me show you how it works. At first I was Can we stop? Thank you very much. What is going on? This is not your show, mister. So that's Wunderblatt by Gymglish. I was very skeptical at first. Today is not a good one to show because it's not the usual story. It's a random video. But usually there is like a ongoing story with the same characters. Like the Wunderblatt is about a hotel, and so you follow the characters, different episodes. So today is not one. So you always have like a video to listen to or to watch, an audio or a text to read, and they give you the vocabulary, sometimes not. They give you the transcript. You can click on words that you don't understand. What I like is it's often in groups of words, groups of meanings. They give you some vocabulary, and then you have some dictation. You have to answer like listening comprehension. You have some grammar, vocabulary again, another video. Usually you have two videos or two audios or two texts. They show you the mistakes that you've made before in the previous lessons. They explain everything. A little bit of conjugation here or grammar, a little bit of a lesson with actually more examples than theory, which I like. Exercise to practice with the lesson, and then a little dessert, which is usually a video or a song or something on the same theme of the lesson. And then you get a score and you get a correction. There you have all the lessons. So yeah, so these are the characters from the story. You can choose how long you want the lesson to be, because if you don't have time, then they're gonna make it a shorter lesson. If you have a lot of time, they can make it a longer lesson. I went for like average, not too long, because I don't have a lot of time. And yeah, I've been doing that for 2 years. Really, I finished the whole lesson, so I finished everything. I'm starting again from the beginning, and I have to say, at first I thought it was really difficult. They start easy, but it gets hard very quickly. So I would suggest to have a little bit of a base of German, French, or whatever language you choose, because it gets hard really quickly, and it's a bit discouraging. Sometimes it's not very interesting. So I would recommend, just because it keeps me accountable. I have to do it. I mean, I don't have to do it, but I receive it. I just have to click it. It takes like 5-7 minutes of my time. Why not do it? And I see a lot of vocabulary. I can practice the grammar a little bit. It's not cheap. I think I paid 33 euros a month. At the end of the lesson, you can also talk to an AI, so it's quite comprehensive. You have a little bit of everything. You can chat like write to an AI. It's a character from the story. Yeah, 5 lessons. You practice every day for a little bit. I don't hate it. I had moments where I was like, this is too hard. This is not adapted to my level. But I pushed through and eventually, so now I'm doing it again. It's way easier, so I can see that I made progress. I see words that I wouldn't probably not see otherwise, considering I mostly consume social media. I would be very curious to see. I think I'm gonna do the tutorial lesson for the French one, just to see what they are working on and if it makes sense. So that's what I'm gonna do, and don't know if I'm gonna have time, but I'm gonna try to watch a little YouTube video, and that's gonna be it for today. That's already like a solid 30 minutes of work. That's what I mean by shadowing. It's like repeating what the person says. You don't have to do the whole time. Start with something that you already know the story of. Fairy tales, like things that everybody knows. You build from there. You just watch content that's a bit more complex and a bit more interesting also. And that helped me start having conversations. That's what I'm doing for today. So we are on our walk, but I just got an idea. It's not part of my routine, obviously, because I just thought of it. I have like 3-4 words that I just remember from the video that I've just watched, and I try to repeat them to myself a few times to not forget them. And I am going to try to remember them until Saturday. And on Saturday, yeah, next time I have a conversation with a German person, my boyfriend basically, because he's the only person I'm talking to on a daily basis. I'm gonna try to use those words that I remember, that I'm gonna force myself to remember in a conversation. He has no idea that I have to use them, so I'm gonna try to find a way to use them. It's gonna be particularly difficult for Wohnungsbesichtigung, because why am I gonna talk about visiting apartments? I don't know, but I want to find a way. I think this is a good way to force yourself to reuse the words that you learn. Playing ball with my dog at the same time. To reuse words that you've learned in some form of content that you've watched. Just a tip. Today is Wednesday evening, and my sneaky snack with me. I haven't done much today in German, I have to say. I scrolled on Instagram. I watched a couple of reels. I looked at some stories, Insta stories. I did my Wunderblah lesson that I mentioned yesterday. That's pretty much it. Oops. I didn't have a lot of time. I was very busy. I just wanted to show there is something that I found ages ago when I started learning German just for fun that was free, and it's great. I think it's called Nico's Weg. So you can do a placement test where it tells you that what your level is. That's a story with a lot of episodes of the story of Nico. He is a Spanish guy who arrives in Germany to learn German. He lives with his aunt, or like his aunt is already in Germany, and he meets friends and stuff. So you do so this is already A2. The problem is it didn't save anything that I've done, but anyways. And so you watch a little video, it's a little episode, and then you do some exercises. There are some questions like comprehension questions about the video, a bit of grammar, a lot of different questions. It's like some you have to write, or you have to put the right question word. So it's grammar. It's really nice for beginners. It's really good. It's like real people speaking German. I enjoyed it a lot. For French people who want to learn German, I also wanted to share 2 books that I've had for years now. It's this activity book. It's for beginners. It's really to start again. So it's not bad. You have one audio, so you have to flash the title, and there's an app that you can use to play this, and you can read and listen at the same time. There's some vocabulary and the notions that you're going to work on, some exercises. I didn't do it. I have to get back to it. I'm a bit lazy, but I started. I did a bunch already. It's not bad. The other one is the bled. If you're French, you would know what that is. There are a bunch of exercises. This is really difficult for a beginner. I do not recommend if you're a beginner. But you have the lesson and a lot of exercises with a lot of vocabulary. At the end, you have the corrections and a lot of vocabulary per theme, so social themes, different stuff like that. I open it every now and again when I really have time. It's Thursday. Today I'm not gonna do much. I'm gonna continue watching the YouTube video that I was watching earlier this week. I just wanted to share also something I've just seen on Instagram. It's this girl. She's a polyglot, which is very impressive. She was sharing her French routine, so what she does to learn French. And she mentioned something that I've never thought of doing, is to take a song that you like in your native language and translate it into the language you're learning. So she was taking, she's American, so she took a song, an American song, and she was trying to translate it into French. And that's like more active learning, where you have to actually produce. If you only listen and read, you're not producing anything. So every now and again, whether it's by speaking or writing, it's necessary to work on those production skills, not just receptive skills, I guess we can call them that. I text in German, I text some people in German sometimes, but my main productive task that I do is to speak. So by the end of this week, I'm going to have a conversation with my boyfriend about various things. As I said, I skipped Friday and Saturday because I didn't do much on those days when it comes to learning German. But I filmed on Sunday a part of a conversation that I had with my boyfriend when I was in the kitchen baking cookies. Also, wir backen Cookies, Kekse. Zusammen.
Mehr oder weniger.
Ich habe moralische Unterstützung.
Beim Keksebacken vor allem, ja.
Genau. Oh, ich sollte deutsche Rezepte benutzen.
Natürlich.
Ich benutze nur amerikanische Rezepte.
Ja, deswegen kannst du auch Englisch und nicht Deutsch.
Zusammenmischen Mehl, Natron.
Natron?
Natron habe ich nicht. Backpulver und Salz. Ich habe gerade ein KitchenAid bekommen.
Ist sie hilfreich?
Oh, es kommt drauf an. Für Granola, ja, aber ich kann auch mit einem Löffel mischen. Und für Brot, ich hatte die falsche,
Den falschen Aufsatz, das falsche Rührwerk.
Den falschen Rührwerk gewählt. Also so far so good.
Was für Kekse machst du jetzt?
Also Schokolade-Chips.
Chocolate Chip Cookies?
Das ist auf Englisch.
Ja, wir sagen auf Deutsch Chocolate Chip Cookies.
Ja, auf Französisch. Wir sagen Cookie aux pépites de chocolat. Also Deutsch ist einfach. Wir brauchen Butter, geschmolzene Butter. Wie viel? Oh, und ich habe Sauerteig-Granola im Ofen. Heute ist Sonntag und Sonntag ist Backtag.
Macht Sinn.
112 Gramm oder Gramme.
Gramm.
Also was sollen wir, worüber sollten wir sprechen? Vielleicht eine Geschichte.
Eine Geschichte, die wir uns jetzt ausdenken.
Also ich erzähle eine Geschichte.
Und was für eine Geschichte erzählst du?
Das weiß ich nicht. Vielleicht der letzte Film, den ich gesehen habe. Aber ich kann mich nicht erinnern.
Okay, wir machen was anderes. Du erklärst einen Film und ich muss raten, welcher Film es ist.
Ah ja, okay. Es geht um einen grünen Mensch. Also nicht Mensch, aber...
Grüner Politiker oder was?
Nein, einen grünen Mensch, der hasst Weihnachten.
Der Grinch.
Ja. Es geht um zwei Mädchen, die nach Paris gehen, alleine. Und sie sind
Amerikanerinnen.
Und als sie in der Wohnung sind, in der Airbnb sind, sie werden entführt. Der Vater eines Mädchens versucht, die Mädchen zu save.
Oder die Menschen zu retten oder wieder zu finden.
Und die Bösen sind Albaner. Diese Film habe ich gesehen alleine zu Hause und es war vor ein paar Jahren. Also ich war grown up, aber ich hatte viel Angst. Also, die Butter. Die Butter.
Sagt man die Butter oder der Butter?
Die Butter.
Man kann auch der Butter sagen.
Ah?
Man kann auch der Butter sagen.
Wirklich?
Bei Butter kann man verschiedene Geschlechter wählen.
Was?
Manche Leute sagen die Butter, andere Leute sagen der Butter.
Der Butter. Französisch ist le beurre. Also ich wähle der Butter zu sagen.
Aber es ist komisch.
Just wanted to show my cookies because they look really good. And somebody tried one of them.
Ist es jetzt nicht perfekt? Soll ich es ganz essen?
So schmecklich, oder?
Sehr schmecklich.
Oh yeah, I made up that word schmecklich, which means lecker, but it comes from the verb schmecken.
Schmecken. Sehr schmecklich.
And since then it's been a word accepted by the German Academy.
The Bavarian Council of Schmecklich-Sagers.
Oh, he would be interested. So that's all for my lazy German weekly routine. Subscribe if you want to see more videos about language learning tips from a language teacher. You can leave a comment down below telling me about your own language learning routine, and I will see you next time for another video. Bye!